everyone, and welcome back to the Psychosin project here on YouTube. Yes, I'm finally back. I've been away for a few months due to a few issues with basically I had to move flat. As you can see, it's a new flat, and I do apologise for the focusing problem going on with my camera for whatever reason it's doing that. But yes, I am back. I'm going to be trying to get a few videos per week up, as many as I possibly can, really, depending on obviously if I find work, etc. Anyway, today we're going to be going through my top 50 albums of last year. Something that everyone's been doing. This is going to be in 5 parts, but first we're going to start with some honourable mentions. The first honourable mention goes to the one and only Cobra and the Lotus, who didn't release an album this year, sadly, but they are currently working on a double, I believe it's a double album follow-up to the absolutely superb High Priestess album from last year. This year they released a EP, 5-track EP of covers of Canadian bands that have helped influence their sound, which was called Words of the Prophets. Some superb covers of Rush on here, the absolutely immortal song Black Velvet on there as well, and they took it and sort of made it their own style without straying too far from the originals. So it's here as an honourable mention because Cobra and the Lotus are one of the bands I wish nothing but great success for. They're an absolutely superb band, and Cobra and the rest of the band are really nice people, so definitely go check this band out if you haven't, and if you like covers, go check out their cover of Black Velvet that's on this EP as well. And also I believe they made a video for it that's up on YouTube, so go check them out. Next is Minerva Falls, who've done a fair few awesome gigs around Southend and indeed Essex, and I think they done a couple in London this year. I'm not 100% sure on that. Absolutely superb UK band that are rising. They have got one album so far, which was Death in the Afternoon. I've really got to get around to actually doing the review of that. As you know, I done an interview with them last year, I believe it was. You can check it out by clicking on the link in the corner there. And basically, yeah, absolutely superb band. They've been working on some new material for a new release, yet to be announced whether it's going to be an EP on an album, that they're going to be calling Tactical Nuclear Penguin. As you do. Apart from the rather amusing title, they are a serious band, absolutely superb, bringing influences from Pearl Jam, the grunge era, some more modern rock stuff and metal stuff, along with a little bit of AC/DC in there lyrically as well, because the lead singer Ross Martin, he's a bit of a pervert, but he's a great man anyway. Well, not a great man, don't want to give him his ego too much of an inflation, but no, honestly, absolutely superb band. Really shocked they haven't been signed yet, but we shall see what happens. Obviously, if I can get my record label going, they're going to be one of the first bands I sign, and you will hear this band pretty much on every radio show I do on Total Metal Radio. So go check them out. Minerva Falls, definitely a big honourable mention for them here. Another Southend band next on the honourable mentions, the one and only Killer Tricks. Absolutely superb mixture of dance and sort of pop punk, with a little bit of metal in there as well. Really great live shows been done this year. Some fantastic songs in Supersonic and all that. They actually got round to releasing their first official single this year, which was Overcome. If you haven't checked that song out, definitely go and do it. I've played it on my radio show a few times as well. They are going to be going on to absolutely great things. I believe they're working on their album at the moment. Cannot wait for that album. So go check them out. Killer Tricks, absolutely superb. Finally, in the honourable mentions, is a band I have loved since they released their first album, The Trees Are Dead and Dried Out, Wait for Something Wild, back in 2001, 2002 I believe it was. I am of course talking about the one and only Sixth. Pretty much progenitors of the entire gent movement. And Cat, if you're watching this, Cat from Hearts Under Fire, that's DJENT, not gent as in gentleman. I know that confused a few people before. Maybe it's my accent, I don't know. Anyway, absolutely superb masters of their instruments, with some insane dual vocal interplay between the two vocalists. After their second album, which was absolutely superb as well, and the name of it escapes me at the moment, they went quiet for a long time. They went and done their own things, and Sixth was pretty much over at the time. However, murmurings began occurring a couple of years ago. They'd done a show, and the Mould Magic was still there. They worked on a new album, and normally, if this had been a full album, this would be in my top 5 of the year because it's that goddamn good. However, it is a mini album, so unfortunately doesn't quite qualify for a full for the albums of 2015. However, hopefully they'll have a new album in the near future. And honestly, if you haven't heard Sixth, go check this album out, mini album. It's called Opacities, and definitely check out a song called Philistine Philosophies, which was the first single from it. Sixth, definitely massive honourable mention for him here. Definitely one of my bands of 2015, and definitely deserve to be bigger this time round than they were last time. So yes, Sixth, if you haven't checked them out, go check them out. If you have checked them out, you've already got this album and you know exactly why they're on here. Yep, I'm instantly already going against the whole idea of a top 50 with number 51. Done 51 because I like to go one step beyond and one step further. But it's also because there were so many good albums this year. I've had to leave about 20, really good albums that come out this year just because I didn't enjoy them quite as much as I did these other albums. So I might do another list of about 20 albums that didn't quite make the mark. But yes, at number 51 is Baroness, a late entry because it only came out literally about 2 weeks before Christmas last year. And honestly, it's an absolutely superb album, this Baroness Purple album. I'll admit, this is the first album Baronesses I've ever heard, so I've never really got no real reference points for their past work, so I couldn't tell you whether it's as good or not as good as their previous albums, but I am aware this has been on quite a few critics' top 10 lists, to be honest with you. I think it's even topped a couple, I'm not 100% sure on that. It's a really good, fuzzed up rock, heavy rock stroke heavy metal album, bringing to mind some of Mastodon's work to an extent. There's a little bit of progressiveness in there, along with some really sort of heavy riffs. And in the song Kerosene, that is I think track number 2 on the album, they have one of my favourite tracks of the entire year. So yes, at number 51, Baroness and Purple. Why have I put it at 51? Because it's literally sort of on a level with what I've put at number 50. So yes, go check this album out as soon as possible. Next is, at number 50, is Of Mice and Men with Restoring Force. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this album was actually released this year, because I got the double disc special edition thing, so it might have been a re-release, but this is an absolutely superb album. I'll admit, the whole metalcore style has been pretty much played out over the last 15 years. I mean, Killswitch with that very first album pretty much nailed exactly what it should be, and then we had Shadows Fall for a while, went into more of a thrash style, and it's sort of seen a resurgence, but not a lot of it has interested me. But I picked this one up on the off chance. I think it was in a sort of 2 for £15 deal down at HMV, and honestly I enjoyed it a hell of a lot more than I thought I would. Really good album. It's got some great vocals on there, some great screams, some real proper emotion behind the songs, and all in all, this was an album that obviously I enjoyed from start to finish. Didn't really hear a duff moment in there. Maybe a little bit too overlong, I don't know. But there's one or two little progressive elements in there which I enjoyed as well. So yes, if you've not heard of Mice and Men, probably start with this album, as I have. I'm looking to check out their previous work as well. So yes, at number 50, Of Mice and Men and Restoring Force. In at number 49 is We Are the Ocean with the album Arc. Now here's something a little bit lighter that a lot of people probably weren't expecting me to sort of put on my list. It's an album again that picked up in HMV on the off chance because I had quite a well paid job last year. Unfortunately it ended, but what can you do really? And I went through picking up some newer bands, and this was one that was really surprising. Picked it up just literally on the basis of the cover, to be honest with you. I sort of went, I keep hearing good things about this band, so give them a listen. And yeah, this is a really good, I'd say probably indie rock album more than anything else. Little bit heavier moments there, little bit sort of touches of Shinedown in there every now and again, and definitely a bit of an influence from Muse, as is the case with quite a lot of British music these days, especially indie-wise. If it's not music, I'll be influenced by Radiohead, or, God forbid, fucking Coldplay. But anyway, as you might be able to tell, can't stand Coldplay. So if you wait to see Coldplay on this list, I'll tell you now, you're wasting your time. Anyway, yes, We Are the Ocean with Ark. Got some superb songs on there. Definitely check out a song called Holy Fire, which I believe was one of the singles. So yes, in at number 49 is Ark by We Are the Ocean. At number 48, we have a new band called Lucifer, featuring members of The Oath and Gaz Jennings of the one and only Cathedral. This is a new band. One actually expecting the members of Cathedral to continue in music or this style, but this is an absolutely awesome doom album with superb vocals from, I can't remember her name now, that's a good start, isn't it? But the vocalist on here, who I believe was originally in The Oath, bringing in a real sort of mournful air, the kind of which really lends to the overall slightly depressing atmosphere. But what do you expect? It's a doom album with some fantastic riffs from Gaz Jennings there, recalling not only just Black Sabbath but his previous work with the one and only Cathedral. So if you like a bit of doom and you love female vocals as well, definitely check this out. 47, and we have Tremonti with his new album Cauterized. Now, who would have thought that a member of Creed, of all bloody bands, would come out with something that I on any kind of top list? I mean, let's face it, Creed were one of the exponents of pretty poor grunge back in the day, but you could always tell by the riffs and all that Mark Tremonti, obviously this being his project and his new band, always wanted to do something a bit different, a bit heavier. And with this, he's really come to the fore with some fantastic, really catchy songs, such as the first song on the album, which has escaped me because I'm doing really well today, aren't I, with remembering things. But yes, he's got superb vocals. In fact, vocals that makes you wonder why they let Scott Stapp sing in Creed, to be honest with you. But anyway, some really superb songs on here. A fantastic, really catchy rock album. So if you like your rock, I cannot recommend this album enough. Tremonti with Cauterized in at number 47. Number 46 is an interesting band. Again, bought the album purely through word of mouth and seeing reviews of the band themselves. Also, when I saw an interview with them, they made their sound sort of something that I've always wanted to get into, and it is, of course, shining with their newest album, International Black Jazz Society. And to be honest with you, black jazz is pretty much the best way to describe this album, to be honest with you. It's got a bit of a Nine Inch Nails sort of industrial metal vibe going through it as well. It's got some really catchy songs on here. It's got superb playing by the guitarist, some really, really heavy sort of wall of sound riffs coming that remind you a bit of Strapping Young Lad, along with some saxophone, which isn't something you hear that often on metal albums. And really, yeah, there's a real black metal edge to all of it, including the lyrics and the vocals. And, well, I'll say the vocals, they're not screamed vocals, they're very, very superbly sung vocals, but you can just tell there's a definite murkier, darker edge to everything on this album. And yeah, black jazz is definitely a kind of music I could get into. So yes, in at number 46, sorry, I've almost forgotten then. In at number 46 is Shining with International Black Jazz Society. If you want something a bit different but catchy, definitely go check this out. At number 45 is something that's been on a fair few critics' lists as well. Deaf Heaven with New Bermuda. Now this is hard to describe, this album. Primarily black metal, but with a bit of a indie vibe to it. And I know that doesn't make sense, but honestly, listen to this album, you'll hear what I mean. And honestly, they're doing something different. They're doing something against the grain, and they're doing something that retains the original feeling of black metal, as it were, by incorporating these new influences into their sound and being against the grain of everything else. Because let's face it, we know what black metal usually sounds like, because you've got your Dimmable Gears, Old Cradle of Filth, your Dark Thrones, etc. Most of which those bands have strayed away from black metal and have admitted they are no longer really black metal anymore. But yeah, this incorporates the indie element, which is a bit of a strange element to incorporate into black metal of all things, but I suppose with the over sort of I can't think of the words now, but with the over-incumbent darkness, I think that's the word I'm looking for, of black metal, along with, let's face it, the miserable vibe of quite a lot of indie music. It just works. So yeah, do yourself a favour. Listen to one or two tracks on YouTube. Admittedly, some of the tracks are quite long on this, because they've got the progressive vibe as well there. But yeah, give one or two songs a listen, and if you like it, definitely pick up the album. And here it is at number 45 on my top 50 of 2015. At number 44, well, it's got to be Avatarium with their newest album, The Girl with the Raven Mask. Now, admittedly, I never listened to Life Eagling's original band, which was Candlemass. I've never heard them, so I've no idea whether this sounds anything like it. But they've got a fantastic singer on this album who usually doesn't sing anything for this heavier style. She's actually from more of a jazz singer background, I do believe. So it gives it a real unique edge, and this is not as doomy as you might think. This is more of a progressive album than anything else. And as you can probably tell by now, I'm a bit of a fan of progressive music. So yeah, this really enjoyed this album. And yeah, here it is on the top 50 of 2015. Sorry about that. Here at number 44. Do yourself a favour, go and check it out. Now here's where the placement of this album is going to cause a few people to moan at me about it. At number 43 is of course Five Finger Death Punch with Got Your Six. Now loads of people seem to love this band, and I'd heard one or two songs before, thought they were a bit sort of run-of-the-mill standard metal, and then I sort of picked up this album on the off chance because I thought, you know what, I'm judging them on a couple of singles. It might be a case of the record labels push them to release those singles, and really they're not the best on the album. It seems to usually be the case. It's more a case of release the songs that they think will do well and are the catchiest. Now, admittedly, before I bought this album, I had heard the lead single, which was, I believe it was Jekyll and Hyde, and I really enjoyed that. So I picked up the album, gave it a listen, and yeah, I enjoyed this album. Can't say I'm going to be a huge fan of them based on this album. Maybe if I give it a few more listens. But on the first listen, pretty impressed. But there's a few things. Sometimes the attitude of the band in interviews and all that, I'll admit, gets on my tits a little bit. And when everyone keeps comparing them and saying, oh, they're the new Pantera, no. This is what people need to understand. There will not be another Pantera. Pantera were their own band. No one is going to be the next Pantera because they can't be a next Pantera, least of all this band. Well, not least of all, but definitely not this band. I'm sure the band themselves would rather be the next Five Finger Death Punch more than the next Pantera. They want to be their own thing. You can hear that in their music, and I wish them good luck. I know they're getting bigger over here in the UK. They've just played Wembley Arena, I do believe. So good luck to them. If I can get an interview with them, fantastic. I'll definitely go for that. And I'm going to have to go back and check out their other albums. But yeah, here at number 43 on my list, Five Finger Death Punch with their newest album, Got Your Six. At number 42 is Crossfaith with their newest album, Xeno. An absolutely superb album that kind of consolidates all the sounds they're trying to mix together, i.e. that hardcore sound along with metal, along with obviously the dance elements and the electronic elements in there, with superb guest turns from Caleb Shomo of the one and only Beartooth, who are an absolutely superb band. And I will admit, I wish I'd found Beartooth earlier and given their album a listen earlier, because they would have been on my top 10 list last year, because their album is superb. But anyway, talking about Crossfaith here, and also doing another superb guest turn, and pretty much almost owning the song is the one and only lead singer of Skindred, Benji Webb. So yeah, if you like dance music mixed with hardcore and shouty sort of more heavier elements, then definitely check out this album. Also, if you're a fan of Pitch Shifter, definitely check out this album. In at number 42, I believe. 42 is Crossfaith with Xeno. Number 41 is probably one of the most fun power metal style albums I've listened to in a while. Powerwolf with Blessed and Possessed. There's some superb instrument playing on this album, obviously. It's just straight ahead, balls to the wall power metal that's so over the top and fantastic lyrically that you can't help but enjoy it and smile all the way through it. With some fantastic songs on here, really, really catchy as well. I hope I could get an interview with these guys, or at least see them live soon, because I think that live this could be an absolutely superb band. And if they continue making albums like this, then I'm definitely going to be a fan. So yes, in at number 41 is the one and only Powerwolf with their newest album, Blessed and Possessed. If you have any interest in fun power metal albums, go check this album out. And at number 40 is a band many of you may not have heard of. This is a goth band, well, gothic sort of metal band called Amberian Dawn with their newest album, Innuendo. Now this one, again, total risk. Admittedly, I did get sent it a few months ago, I believe, by my contacts at Metal Blade Records, who obviously send me their albums to review in time just before they come out. Didn't get round in time to doing this because I was flooded with doing reviews. At the time I had like millions of albums to try and get through and listen to, as well as I was in the middle of the move when this album appeared in my inbox, so unfortunately didn't get round to doing a review of it. Might do a full review later on over the next month or so, or catch up month as it is. But yes, Amberian Dawn with Innuendo. This is a band I've never heard of before, but thought I'd give them a go, so I picked up the album. Actually bought a physical copy, didn't need to do that, but obviously I like to support the artists, as you should do too. And honestly really enjoyed this album, full of really, really catchy songs. And although there's a massive feeling that you get the idea that they might want to be Nightwish, but yeah, this is really catchy album, really superb. Go check them out, Amberian Dawn and this album, Innuendo. So there you go, numbers 50 through to 40, sorry, 51 through to 40 of the top 50 of 2015. As I explained in the first part of the review, basically so many good albums come out last year, and it's been pretty difficult for me to not only listen to them all, but also to work out which should go where. Just bear in mind, none of these are in a definite order, except for, I'd say, probably the top 20 is definitely the order. But these are albums I enjoyed, 50 to 30 or more sort of albums I really enjoyed, but didn't feel were good enough to make it to the top 20, but definitely felt like they needed a mention anyway. Anyway, I will have another video, top 40 to 30, tomorrow. So I hope to see you then. Hope you're enjoying the videos, and I'll see you tomorrow.